Hi, this is Billy Silikane, founder and president of Global Conference Television. Today it's our last day at the PSA convention in Zebra Lodge. What an amazing 3 days. We've had the best of the best. We've had people from the US, we've had people from Malaysia, from Holland, from France, from Thailand, and now it's a special honor for me to be here with this lady who's got a phenomenal story. She's from the United Kingdom, and her name is Pam Warren. Good afternoon, Pam.
Hello, Billy.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Lovely.
I'm from Britain, and I'm a train crash survivor. The train crash was just outside of Paddington and was absolutely huge. 31 people died and over 500 of us were injured. I was supposed to be the 32nd victim, but luckily I survived. However, I survived with horrendous injuries, which then effectively ended the life that I had before. I had to reinvent myself and start a new life. Since then, I've been able to rebuild. It has taken me 15 years to do so, but I've been able to rebuild a new life that's far more rewarding and far more fulfilling. I've written a book, which is my autobiography, called From Behind the Mask, which I'm hoping to bring across to Africa in the not too distant future. I'm a professional speaker, so I stand up at conventions and deliver keynote speeches on the main stage. And I've also balanced everything off because of the train crash. I now take an altruistic look at life. So I work for 2 national charities in the UK to give back as much as I receive.
Your journey from where you are to where you are today, it's a bigger story that I'm not going to give justice to. Now, when you were in hospital, totally immobilized, what got you to think about that concept?
It was, how was I going to survive? I couldn't work out at that time. I didn't know how well I would recover. And when you're faced by a huge challenge, you have to think about, okay, how am I going to tackle it? And some people use that analogy of biting off pieces, and then eventually you'll eat the whole. But for me, a river made more sense because I don't know, I suppose I'm attracted to water anyway. And to me it made more sense because it was fluid and it could change direction. Yeah. And I sort of apply it to everything I do now. Every decision I make, I sort of think, okay, what would a river do? And I've been amazed at the results I get just through that smarter thinking.
Just give me a bit about their transitioning, because your transition was not it was not something that you thought of doing. Circumstances forced you to change,
yeah. And
your change probably made you a better human being.
Yes.
Now tell me a bit about the trap that we are in, most people. At that time in your life, would you have changed voluntarily, or the show could have gone the same way that it was?
I've often said that had the train crash not happened, I would just be an older version of the financial advisor I was before. No, I wouldn't have changed. And I think that has a lot to do with conditioning. Every society in every country, in every world, is brought up to believe that if you work hard, you can earn money. And when you can earn money, you can buy things. And that seems to be part of humans' new reason for living, is to own material things. But that's not to say that anyone's to blame for that. It is just society telling you to do that. So I don't think that had the train crash not happened and I came so close to death, I wouldn't have then had the time to stop and think, was it worth it? Would I have been happy to have died that day just with the life that I'd led up until that point? And the answer was no. I think I came to appreciate that in order to be satisfied with life, it's nothing to do with money. To be content, that's nothing to do with money. To make a difference and affect other people's lives in a positive way, that's what's more important.
Now, your story, which you now have begun to share with people around the world, what are the greatest testimonials? What kind of tipping point do people go through after they hear your story? And how many have come back to you and said, Pam, wow, you know, when you came and I listened to you, something clicked and I changed certain things. Have you had people say that to you? And
yes, again, the way I use the idea of a river's journey seems to gel with people quite well. I think it's because it's a simple concept. Everyone's seen a river at some point in their life. and they understand how it can then be applied to decision making. And I think they do see that by thinking in different situations, a different solution will get you the result that you want. I think they can use that as something tangible that they can use. There are other people who've come up to me where they've also suffered something traumatic in their life. So far, and touch wood, I hope it never happens to somebody, it hasn't been anything as traumatic as a train crash, but something's happened, and for them it's traumatic, and they want to share their feelings with me, or I've touched a point, and I've said to somebody, in fact, here, that it's almost like we're all part of an exclusive club. If you say a word to somebody who's been through trauma, they know what you mean without you having to describe. And I think that's important. So from their point of view, I'm quite happy to listen because I'm a bit further along in the journey than they possibly are. So I help.
Now, I want you to share with our viewers, what are the 3 fundamental things that people have to do to overcome? Because some people are still trapped in their old circumstances. Some people are trapped in abusive marriages, abusive relationship, abusive work environments that they never want to leave. So what are the 3 liberation points? What are the 3 things that you would share with our viewers, that if somebody feels they're stuck in this very untenable environment, that they feel they cannot break away from that and find their freedom? What are the 3 things that you think they should be doing?
I think the first thing to remember is that nobody else is going to help you. Effectively, there is only one person you can rely on, and that is yourself. So have the self-belief to know that you can change things. The second point I would make is that you have to get up off your backside and do something about it. Sorry, that's a very British expression, but there's no point in expecting it to come and find you. You have to go off and find it. And I suppose the third point is learn how to say no, and I don't mean no to a person, I mean more saying no to your situation, turning around and realising you're far more valuable than that and that you deserve more. So by saying no, you're walking away from the situation and looking for a brighter future. And otherwise, all I can say is that my best wishes go out to you, and I really hope everyone has a happier future.